Hi folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the plot. Today is for me, in fact, New Year's Eve. The video is going to go out well after New Year's Eve, so I hope you've had a wonderful celebration and your new year is off to a good start. It's really grey and miserable out today, but unseasonably warm. It's about 14-15 degrees. I don't think I'm going to need this jacket much longer once I start getting going. And the job for today, which I'm really excited about, is the greenhouse. It's going to be really nice for me going into the new year with this major job out of the way. And one of the reasons that I've been putting it off for so long is because of this unseasonably warm spell. So without further ado, let's just get straight in and I'll show you how it looks at the moment. So if you saw last week's update, I don't think much will have changed in the greenhouse really. It's still full of my chili peppers. The only thing that's changed is these Christmas lights, an amazing Christmas gift. But anyway, there are still quite a few pods on the peppers and some of them might not quite be ripe, but I'd rather not just bin them all. So I am going to harvest the ones that are ripe. I might even harvest the green ones if they look well developed. And what I'm going to do is just blend them all together and chuck them into some kind of mega fermentation. And it might turn out horrible. It might turn out okay, but it's time. There's only one or two that I'm going to overwinter this year. And I'm just going to get stuck in, you know? I'm just going to get stuck in, start ripping it out, because what I really want to do is get rid of all the pots, empty all the soil out, get rid of the quad grows, get those out. And I just like to get all the tables clear, brushed off. Everything is filthy. All the corners of the greenhouse, they just need a bit of a weed. I must say the weed membrane this year, the improvements that I made throughout last year have had a good effect, but you know, there's still quite a lot to be done. So let's do it. I'm really excited. First, I'm going to harvest everything and then it's time to fill up the compost bays as well. That's the other part that I do enjoy about this, is that we are making compost. Well, we're off to a good start. 10 minutes of looking and I can't find my good secateurs. I've lost them on the allotment somewhere, I think, but hey ho, I've got this rubbish pair and we'll make do. Now, it is quite surprising just how healthy the majority of these plants look, and it is this mild spell that we're in. I'm seeing a few little bits of new growth where they're actually putting out new leaves, and I think that's because they're being kind of tricked into thinking it might be spring already. Yeah, this one even has a flower on it, which is just crazy, but it won't be long until we have a cold snap, I'm sure, and then all of these plants would die anyway. And they are really growing so slowly. Any of the pods aren't ripening. It's just time for them to go. I know I'll get a few comments saying, no, what are you doing to your precious plant? But, you know, this is all a part of gardening, part of the cycle. And there's something about it that I actually find quite liberating this time of year. It's just nice to start with a clean slate. And as well, you can see as I'm going through, this is personal preference, but I like to chop my peppers up as I go, just because it means they compost down that much easier. So first two plants down, and I know I said I like to chop the peppers up as I go, but I am going to do this in 2 stages and just go around first and get all of the ripe peppers that might still be okay for a sauce, and then I'll go through, get rid of the rest of the peppers. And then I've got to start thinking about actually cleaning out in here. Oh dear. So after that, we've got quite a nice looking selection of peppers actually. There's definitely more than I thought they were going to be, and for the most part, these look in pretty good condition. There's a few green ones, but most of these look quite ripe, so we might be able to make a nice little concoction. But now it's time to get in there and actually get the plant out and into the compost bay. You're going in the bin. So first plant, jalapeno. Now obviously we want all of the green stuff going in the compost bay, but There's a lot of soil, probably 100 litres of soil in all of my chili pots, and if we put that into the compost bay, it'll probably slow things down a bit. Now, what do we do with the soil? Well, it depends who you talk to. A lot of pro growers are pretty comfortable reusing this soil. You wouldn't just grow in this again, but what I'm going to do is set my soil aside from these pots and mix it in at a kind of 2-to-1 ratio with my mix for chili peppers next year, or this year now as you watch it. But let's get this chopped up. And then I need somewhere to put all of this soil. I'm sure I'll find somewhere. It'll be great. Now, depending on your compost pile, you might not have to chop this kind of thing up, but I find mine go quite slowly. I don't get that much stuff going in the compost bays, and they're definitely on the slow side. So I think it really helps for me to cut these up into much smaller pieces so that they actually turn into compost. God, nearly just smashed a glass pane in the ceiling. You're going in the bin. You're going in the bin. This one is also going in the bin. Guess what, folks? Also going in the compost bin. This one actually not going in the compost bin. This is my Reaper Douglas, and this one is one I'm going to overwinter. Bin. Pulled the lights down. That really made me jump. Oh geez. This one looking really sad. This one's pretty much dead by itself. This one, last one of the potted plants for the compost bin. Okay, so with all the greenery chopped up, I just got the rest of the plant pots that were in the greenhouse out, and I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm thinking about. So there's loads. It's just absolutely loads. And I've got to, you know, they're all the roots are still in there as well, so I've got to shake out all the roots, and it would take me a while ripping them all out. You know what, I think I'm gonna actually just shake them out and put the used compost on this bay, that's the word, because this is mostly stuff that has broken down. It needs filtering through and sieving and that kind of stuff, but for the most part that is the broken down part, and then could just chuck the roots on there and they should degrade. These can take quite a while to get the roots off, but I think doing it this way does probably make sense. I could even, you know what I might do is just shake this into the third pile because this is fine to use again. In fact, yeah, that's definitely what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that, and then the roots can go on there. Finally, we've got a plan. I know what I'm doing, and I can do it. This is not going too badly actually. 2 down. I'll see you soon. Okay. Last one. I think just now I said that this was actually surprisingly easy, but a lot of this is still quite wet. It's quite heavy. It's not been easy going, but we are getting there. What has been interesting is seeing that a lot of these aren't root bound, even in the 7.5 litre pots. And I was expecting these, you know, these have been in these pots for a long time now, since kind of June. Did I repot them in June into their final pots? It might have been July. It was later than it should have been, but I was expecting that they would have been better developed. This last one is a bad example. This looks pretty root bound, but a lot of the smaller ones like the jalapenos and some of the anums have not filled out the pots as much as I was expecting. So it's been quite a useful exercise, but I'm quite glad this is the last one. I'm absolutely filthy. There's so much soil in my wellies. But this is a huge pile of stuff now, and what I'm going to do in the next few weeks is mix in a load of the stuff from there that's actually ready, and we'll have a really nice pile of compost I'm going to use for multiple purposes. You know, this isn't all going to be for chili peppers. Some of it might be, but some of it will go on beds or elsewhere, you know, we'll see. But quite a nice job to have done, and I'm going to have a little break. So break time's over, feeling a bit better, but this is only the first half really in terms of just clearing out the chili peppers, because there are still all of the quad grows in the greenhouse, and they are fantastic for growing really strong, healthy plants. But I do hate them at this time of year when you've got to clean them out, because inevitably they're very heavy because they're still quite wet. Let's have a go. So quad grows, you probably know that I've got 2 in here. These are kind of self-watering systems, and I do really, really highly rate them. Part of the issue though at this time of year is just that the plants are so big, they're all grown into each other. But I think what I'm going to do is just snip them at the base, pop them in there for now, the little container just off screen, and then I'll go and chop these up at the compost bay, and then hopefully the soil isn't too waterlogged. Come on. There we go. I prefer, where I can, to take all of the pots out, because there's so much space. I mean, there's so little space in the greenhouse, so it makes working in here really difficult, but it's okay. We're getting there. Are you going to come without a fight? Not really, no. Yeah, there we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I've just found, what the hell? A little tomato plant. It was somehow growing in the quad grow. Incredible, didn't get very far. And I think that tomato is kind of a good example of one of the small issues with quad grows in general, is that they're very bulky and tall. You get pushed up right against the glass or the edge of your polytunnel. And so it becomes very difficult to see what's going on behind them. And down here, I've got an awful lot of weed growth, brambles, and some kind of roots that are coming through. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big issue. About 101 things to get caught on in here. But there we go. That's the last bit of plant. Let's get these in the compost bay. Chop them up a bit finer as well. So with all of those chopped up, now it's moment of truth time to see whether or not these are going to come out. Not easily. Okay, not really a surprise, but I can't get this out. Oh, good Lord. Okay, deep breath. It's going to be okay. This is what I mean, right? So these quad grows, just the roots grow down into the reservoir and they just become completely wedged. Ah, that's what we like. That one's come out easily. Okay, more of that, please. Oh, yes. I think what's happened is these ones on this right-hand side have started dying off a bit sooner. So a lot of their roots are actually rotting. I think this one's still got water in it, whereas the one at the back doesn't. There we go. Be gone. Right. I don't know why these bamboo canes won't come up at all. That's weird. We're fine. Right, bamboo canes. I'm getting tired, folks. I've had enough. That's what's happened. I've had enough. Yes. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas. Oh, yes. Yes, that's what we like. Nice and easy. Come on. been defeated by this last one. Maybe a twist. Won't help. Not at all. Oh, you silly sausage. Okay, right. I've got a plan. This might be a good plan, it might be a bad plan. This last one is so completely wedged. I'm thinking that if I weigh the quad grow down with water, it might actually pull up. The issue is there's no resistance, so when I pull the pot out, the whole bottom just comes with it. I really hope this works. Go on. Yes! Right. Now, time to get all the soil out of these pots. I don't think I'm going to get the whole greenhouse done today, you know. Okay. Let's go. Oh my god, they're heavy. So I just finished doing one. I don't know how long it took me, too long. Generally, I try and keep this capillary matting, but I've never had plants grow as well as these chili peppers, so what I'm going to do is come up with a knife, because I don't have a knife with me here. I've got some blunt secateurs, but that's about it. And then for the rest of these, I can just cut the capillary matting, and then the rest should just lift out. And that will make life much easier and save me quite a lot of time. So for now, I'm just going to dump all these pots outside, I think. That's the quad grow pots. There's still so much to do in the greenhouse. So how are we looking? We're losing the light. It's getting towards 4:30. And by the end of this episode, I was really hoping this greenhouse would be fully cleared out. I need to get the quad grows out and kind of give them a good scrub down and make sure there's no snails or nasties hidden. You can see back here all of the weeds and the weed growth I was talking about. I think I cut those with some secateurs, and so most of those have died now, which is good. But there's just so much stuff. All of these tables just need a good clean. You know, there's so many leaves and like snails and snail poo everywhere. So lots and lots to still finish up in here, but I don't really have any New Year's resolutions, but one of them is definitely chilling out a bit when it comes to the allotment and YouTube. There's a tendency that YouTubers have, you know, garden YouTubers, to want to get everything done in one episode, and friend of the channel Niall did a really good video on that, and you just need to stop sometimes, you know, you just run out of time and it's fine. You just carry it on in the next episode. That's all you need to do. There's no point stressing out and trying to get it all done in a rush. And we've got so much done today. The compost piles are absolutely burgeoning now. Like this one's brimming with green material. Just down here we've got the Reaper Cross Douglas that I'm taking home with me, which I'm very excited to have overwintering. The harvest as well. Look at the colours. This is just fantastic. So really, really pleased. Still lots to be doing, but I can come up and nibble away at this stuff. You know, this is just a little bit of tidying and a little bit of cleaning, and that's fine. I think next video, I'm going to probably be talking about my chili pepper harvests properly, and then after that, it's starting seeds, isn't it? So with that, I will say thanks ever so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed spending this time with me up at the allotment, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.